Welcome to A Reason to Talk with Chris and I am here with the Beastmaster, Joe Hero.
People call me Joe Daddy Hero.
Or just Daddy. And then we're here with my beautiful girlfriend, Debzilla. Debbie.
Hi.
So innocent. We're here today to talk.
Today.
about the top 10 horror movies of all fucking time.
Oof.
Did you fuck up your list already?
Yeah, because you did not tell me it was the top 10 horror movies of all time. You just said 10.
All right, fine. Top 10, whatever. Okay.
This fucking guy.
You're welcome.
Do you know what I agree with you?
On this
I
fucking
just
guy.
listed 10 movies that I thought of last night.
Literally, he
Did
goes,
you really?
he goes 10, and I'm like, okay, fuck. I haven't watched a horror movie in
fine,
God knows
this
how
is mine top 10 of all time. It's your guys' top 10, whatever the fuck you
just
say.
10 movies we watched and we have opinions on.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay.
In the later one, we'll talk about
Drugs.
what we're gonna talk about, like random horror movies that we watched. I love that.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh yeah, the second one we want to do.
Yeah,
I remember that with
Sam
with Vanderbitch.
Yep. Vanderbitch Studios.
We are sponsored. So before
here
we
we
get into
go.
this episode today, check out Dubby Energy at dubby.gg/discount/CRN10 to get 10% off your order today of flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Peach and Beach, and Mud Sludge.
You
Something
said
random, I
that
don't know
next
what that
time I come over that you would give me a sample of these.
I didn't buy any.
There you go.
My ran on the last one. So get those awesome flavors today for those pre-workout energy drinks for your gaming, anything, working out, whatever you need to do, just pick me up. And here we go. That's CRN10. All right, who wants to start?
Nose goes.
All right, so Joe.
I'll go first.
Daddy.
Daddy goes first. All right, I'm going to start. How many do I have here?
You actually have 47 written down? For 10?
I would not blame
I
you.
have
I have
12.
Like 12. Same!
Just in case.
You want to switch it?
No, just in case the same thing gets met. These are 10 horror movies that I absolutely love. The first one I'm gonna go with is It.
That's a good
Question.
I enjoy both of them.
Okay, never mind.
I knew exactly what you were gonna say. I'm gonna say that Tim Curry
Better?
was a better Pennywise, but I enjoyed
The newer one?
the newer one. And if you have time for the book is freaking amazing.
Now,
A lot of N-word in that book.
one.
But-
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My only question for that is, did you watch the sequels?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I have not. The only ones I've seen are the first one with Tim Curry, and then the remake that's new. Not the part 2, or even the TV show that they made, or TV movie, I should say.
The miniseries?
Yeah.
The original miniseries with Tim
miniseries.
Curry?
And I agree with you. I feel like the second one is more of a jump scare horror for now, and then the original is more of a, not a psychedelic horror, but it really got you more scared of, holy shit, it looks like a normal fucking clown. And probably introduce more fear of clowns to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for different reasons, I like both of them. Like, I like the camaraderie between the kids, and I like the in the newer one. I like the. I loved the entire both movies up until the last 10 minutes of the second one. So, like the way they kill him off, really dumb, really dumb.
Makes sense.
Do better next time, guys. But yeah, I enjoyed all of them. It's not the only Stephen King movie that I have on my list. So
I had to look to see how many I had. I only got one on my list. My number 10, and I'm saying it because it's influential to every fucking caught on camera horror movies after this, and that's the Blair Witch Project.
okay,
Original was good. The weird ass sequel made no fucking sense.
Made no sense at all. You're right.
And I think they remade it recently. If I'm not mistaken, like a few years ago.
Never gave that one the time of day.
I tried, and it wasn't as bad as the second one, but it wasn't as good as the first. Like 100% was not good as the first. And I liked it because you had like, oh hey, we're gonna go camp in the woods or whatever, and they have the whole shaky part kind of fucking pisses me off, but it paved the way for the Paranormal Activity series, which the first one was great, the second one was okay, and then after that it was just kind of like repetitive shit, and some of it didn't make sense. But that's half movies nowadays, anyways. But that's my number 10.
All right.
What do you
I
got?
feel so ill prepared. Obviously, I'm gonna stay alive. We just watched that one,
yeah.
and it's one of my favorites. I
like the premise of it.
I do like the premise. I knew you would because of the video game aspect.
I think, Joe, you and me were talking about that, and I think I brought it up in one of the podcasts because I was talking about one of the actors in it who was also in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia who gets typecasted as a creeper, whatever, dude. But he plays that fucking part well, and he knows it, and he gets paid, so who cares?
Jimmy Simpson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that premise of the movie of being, if you get caught in the game and you die like that in real life, later finding out that it's because of the whole story of it's possessed, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's more like cursed because you read out in the beginning of the movie, you read out the spell, which kind of brings her to life in a sense to have you die in the real life if you die in the game.
Right.
And the fact that it's based off of, like an urban... I don't think Elizabeth Bathory's an urban legend. I think she was a real person, but I think the whole murdering...
Elizabeth Bathory, yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She bathed in the blood of virgins. To,
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Just that, history aspect of it's really freaking cool.
My number 9, even though I've only seen the first one, is The Ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think at one point for top 10 of all time, I just kind of started throwing 2 extra ones in here that I couldn't think of. And I like that aspect of... I think I'm basing this off Scary Movie because I don't really remember it that much. Was the person getting murdered and falling into the well? Was it? And then the 7 days where if you watch the videotape, you die in 7 days and try to beat it or whatever.
Right.
And I like that premise, which you got so many other movies based off that now. That's my
watching videotapes and
yeah,
And then you die.
or movies and you die or
sure,
whatever, which I get. But other than that, yeah, that's my number 9. I don't have a real specific reason for that one.
sure. And then the 9th one I'm gonna go with is
Taco Bell.
Fallen
I've not seen that.
with
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. It's about this serial killer that gets the electric chair, but its spirit gets set loose, and he can transfer from one person to another by touch or by after the person dies, they can travel to theirs. And there's just the creepiest scene ever where they start singing "Time." I can't remember who is right. Time is on my side, and they go from person to person, and the person picks it up afterwards, and it's basically stalking Denzel Washington. It's an amazing movie. I suggest it for both of you guys.
Okay.
It's on my to-do list now.
I will see if I have a DVD of it and borrow it to you guys.
Cool.
Then, because it's really an amazing movie that everybody should
I don't know if it was
watch
just
at least once.
me getting a horror version. Wait, what era was that?
This was in the late 90s.
Okay. For some weird ass reason, I was getting very much Ghost vibes. That's the name of the movie with Patrick Swayze,
That is called Ghost, yes.
It's called Ghost, yes.
where he's not transferring to people,
Mm-hmm.
but just the fact that he's there and kind of
Watching his wife.
yeah. But that's just the premise of me. But that's just what I'm getting of that. I don't know, but I really want to see that now.
Ghost?
Yes, Ghost and Fallen.
Okay, yeah. Definitely. I understand the Fallen one. Patrick Swayze. You could see Patrick Swayze or Whoopi Goldberg act like Patrick Swayze making out with Demi Moore.
Yeah. Oh, good times.
Different type of horror movie for some people.
What's your number 9, babe?
I'm gonna go with I Spit on Your Grave, that one that we just watched.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Is the newer one or
the newer
okay.
one. I haven't seen the older one. I didn't know there was another one.
The older one
Let's see,
is
70s, 80s, something like that.
Something like that.
I know when they put up that trailer at first, I thought it was just something messed up with
Yeah.
the DVD when we were watching it. But they just randomly threw it on there and just started playing. Not like, hey, check out this one first. But they just literally just started. And I'm like, are they going to show me the whole movie? This is the longest trailer I've seen in my
Right.
life.
Sure.
But I get it. That's a good fucking movie.
That seems like a rough movie too.
Oh,
It's such a rough movie.
it is.
To watch with a significant other.
We watched it,
Just watching
and I'm
this
like,
girl
what
get
the
raped
fuck is
and
happening?
then take revenge on her rapers. I mean,
I
good
mean-
for her, man.
Right, so it was like kind of gross in the beginning, especially
My-
being a woman
My
watching it.
question
but-
is, they made sequels to the newer one.
right?
Sure.
Not seen them.
No,
Sure.
me either.
I want to. Mainly for
Okay.
the fact I want to see if it's the same character somehow.
Keeps getting.
Keeps getting raped by a bunch of hicks. Oh my
And
god!
then she's like, "Well, gotta go on the murder spree again."
My other question for that movie is the one thing I didn't really like is that they didn't do anything with the sheriff's wife and daughter at the end. Like, I
yeah.
really wanted her to be like, hey, here's proof.
Yeah, but sometimes ignorance is bliss, you know? Like,
But what's the point of... I mean, I get it, you're trying to get into his head, but what was the point of fucking going to his house besides to pretend to kidnap his daughter?
but she got him alone that way.
That's true, and then that's her... But it's still like, what the...
Yeah, but-
That's the thing in horror movies that, like, they miss out details like that, like, I really want to see that. I don't know why, but I feel like they could have done something with it.
Yeah, but then he also thought she was dead, so...
That is true. The other thing about that, too, is maybe Spit on Your Grave, too, is the wife going after the...
Going after her?
Going after her, killing
Like,
everybody
how
else.
dare you not let my husband rape you?
Yeah, how dare you be so offended that my husband raped you?
Oh, God.
You got revenge on my husband for raping you?
I'm definitely making this episode explicit. Check my
The way
box.
we throw out the word rape.
I mean, we're talking about horror movies. Like,
That is true. That is a premise of something you might see. Now, you want to do your number 8 or sure?
you
Okay.
go.
My number 8 is the Halloween series as a whole. I first got into them.
All of them?
Well, that's what series as a whole means, Joe.
Minus
Yeah.
minus H2O.
What about 3, Season of the Witch?
That's 50-50 in there too. I do like the originals, but the ones that really I saw first were the Rob Zombie remakes.
Okay.
I love
I
those.
forget how much younger you guys are than me.
Um,
How old are you?
31.
31? Okay.
Yeah, so...
So you're closer.
Yeah, we're closer in age.
but I did love the first 2 originals.
Okay.
The ones they came up with now, Halloween Kills, I don't give a flying fuck about.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love the Michael Myers character.
Sure.
I love the mask as a William Shatner mask
Sure.
that they just painted
I melted.
and melted a little bit.
Yeah.
And I find that absolutely fucking hilarious because they found the cheapest mask they could find originally.
And it was a William Shatner mask.
And just that aspect. But I feel like I realized I left one out of this. I might add another one in my list. But I feel like it's been way overdone. I mean, you get a whole bunch of horror movies now. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street, there's like 1,000 of them. Friday the 13th, there's 1,000 of them. But I get it. And I feel like for me personally, I'm just sick of seeing that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first 2 Rob Zombie ones I fucking loved, and then I loved even more the originals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my number 8.
See, for me, out of the entire series, the Season of the Witch is my favorite. I
Okay.
mean, it's completely different. There's no Michael Myers in that one at all. But the story behind it is so good.
That's okay. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk into that movie knowing that it's not a Michael Myers movie,
Yeah.
it's so much better than people give it credit. Like everybody that watched it always says like they hated it just because it's not a Michael Myers movie. But
And that's the
there's
main reason.
no, yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's like almost like so many of those horror movies that change away from the story from the original,
yeah.
or even movies in general that do that.
So for me, I'm going to go with Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
I-
have opinions on that
Fuck.
one.
I knew I love that movie too, but that
Sure.
did you? Well,
I
can I
flail
take a guess?
because of her opinions. I'm like, no.
I would too until you hear this.
My question is your favorite part the unicorn?
Oh, I that's funny as hell. No, I love that it's so much like my brother made sure I walked into that movie knowing nothing about it. So
Right.
when I watched it and once it changes, it's like, oh, this is cool. So, but yes, the unicorn part makes me laugh every time.
Just gets released and stab
Yeah.
somebody with their fucking horn. I don't know why. but
Or the mermaid part.
Yeah.
The guy. That's
I don't know why, but one of the people in there, I don't know if you guys are fans of Slipknot, but Mick Thompson in there, like his mask, it's like the big with the black hair and like the down straight mask,
sure.
looked exactly like one of those fucking characters there, and I zoned out. I'm like, did they bring Slipknot into this?
I think that would be amazing. Just bring Slipknot into a random horror movie. Yes.
It would make sense, and or like the fact that they brought in I can't remember his name, Craig Wilson. From Slipknot with the whole spikes and randomly in one of the Harold and Kumar movies. Like they're going through Neil Patrick Harris's bag and he just pulls out Craig Wilson's mask. Like, what?
I did not know that was Craig.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That movie brings on more meaning now.
Oh, God.
Neil Patrick Harris is a Slipknot fan.
Yeah. I really want to know
Yes.
your opinions now.
I don't like Cabin in the Woods. I hated the ending, and all my siblings love Joss Whedon.
Sure.
Very
Okay.
big Joss Whedon fans, so that's. I don't like it.
I get
hated
it.
the way it ended.
I
So
did
what
hate
about the ending that they
the
didn't
whole
sacrifice themselves?
And that part I get. I hated the fact that that killed off the whole world because of that. Where did that premise of that part of it kind of went out my mind when you're just like betting on what the fuck's gonna come out and kill these people?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm thinking the whole time, okay, cool, but like, wait, when the fuck did the end of the world come around that they were sacrificing these people? And the fact that they can't even escape. Like,
Yeah.
That part pissed me off. Because, like, they just jumped, and the next year there's, like, an invisible wall, almost like fucking video game.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like it because I feel like it's such an overdone cliche where you're expecting the girl to be the virgin, and then all of a sudden it changes and it's the stoner. Yeah, that's
Because you got the stoner playing the two parts.
exactly.
Okay.
Just, eh.
I thought you were gonna say like
Ruin the whole thing
I thought
for
you were
me.
gonna say like every horror movie that has a cabin in the woods.
No.
Like when they make fun of that in Scary Movie 5 between fucking Snoop Dogg and what the fuck's the name of the rapper that died?
You literally just. Oh, Mac Miller.
Mac Miller.
We were literally
I
just
never
talking
remember his
about
name. And they were like, it's the movie with the cabin in the woods, and he just starts listing off 7 movies. Like, no, the one with cabin in the woods. No, the cabin in the woods. I really thought that's what you were gonna say. It was because it was the cabin in the woods.
No,
'cause
no,
it's every
no.
horror movie ever.
No.
So, all right. So the stoner, virgin, same person.
Yeah.
I get it. What is your Ocho?
Listen, I'm not doing numbers because I'm just bouncing around in this list.
I'm still gonna say numbers because that's how I'm reading my list. So I don't forget.
Okay. Ooh. What do I want to talk? Oh my god. You're going to laugh at me for this one because I don't think you've seen these. But the Leprechaun movies.
Not all.
They're
of them.
just so
The only-
terrible.
the
I
only-
love them.
The only
Yeah.
thing about them is that the fact that you now know that it's Dylan. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. Hornswoggle. And what is it? The last one?
The Leprechaun Origins.
Origins. And he
Where
knows
would-
him personally, and it's hilarious.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
And he lives in Oshkosh. So I thought that's hilarious. By the way, if you don't know this, we are recording this in Wisconsin, so that's even funnier. And it's just hilarious that way. So I get it though because they're corny.
Right, and I watched them when I was a kid, so that shit scared the fuck out of me as a child.
I love the rhyming, the different ways to murder him, and it's just the revenge he gets because he has 100 pieces of gold and needs to kill the person that takes it. It's so amazing. Like, oh, you stole a leprechaun's gold.
And they just get worse and worse.
And then he's in the hood for some reason.
Leprechaun in the Hood, that's the one I watched.
I've not seen that, but I just saw that title and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this.
What about Leprechaun in Space?
Oh, you definitely should watch it.
I feel like I gotta watch these now.
I've got like a 4-pack. I will bring that over.
Oh god. All right, my number 7, almost like in the wrestling top 10 tag team list we just did. I put 2 because I thought of these literally about 2 minutes ago. The first one was The Grudge. And I'm saying that for the original non-English version.
Oh, haven't seen that one.
It is good,
You don't like Sarah Michelle Gellar, I get it.
but I love that one too.
Okay.
But that was the first one I saw was the non-English version.
Sure.
And then I saw that one, I'm like, okay, I love the Japanese version better. But the premise of it is fucking great.
Yeah.
And I never watched any other Grudge movie after that. But then mixed into that, I love this series because I grew up with it because of my brother. But there's one in the series that I fucking absolutely hate, and it's the one that just came out not that long ago. And it's the Wrong Turn series. And I'm going to give you the premise of the movie.
Thank you.
Inbred hillbilly cannibals.
Oh, yeah.
What about hillbilly?
And literally the last movie,
When do I get to do this podcast?
nothing to fucking do with it. And that's what pissed me off. Because it turned into a fucking cult that just randomly, or some community, and
Wrong turn.
literally
Wrong turn.
was like, I don't know how to put it. It's like it was this own society that had nothing to do with the premise of the movie, except for the fucking joke that they made it. Then the woman's like talking to her younger brother. Hey, what movie are you watching? Oh, it's about inbred hillbilly cannibals.
So like Sharknado?
No,
Kind of cult?
no, and it's just hilarious.
So just
But like
Alabama.
I grew up with one, and the first one with what is her name?
Alabama.
Oh,
she's in
Eliza
the-
Dushku.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love her.
So
And it's just
I would love
hilarious.
if you featured me and my
And
unfiltered opinion
literally-
on this podcast.
no,
Okay.
literally,
She
that's the
looks
reason for my.
great. Oh,
series.
and Emily, her friend in that one too. Oh, she's gorgeous
Have
too.
you seen A Quiet Place Part 2 yet?
Have you?
That shit's kick-ass.
She's also in the one chick I'm thinking of, the new guy. And all right, before we got rudely interrupted, Wrong
Again.
Turn. Yeah, for the 100th time. I'll edit it out hopefully. Series as a whole, because I believe it was the second one. Henry Rollins randomly being in it,
Oh, that one, yeah.
and him as a fucking drill sergeant or whatever just fucking works.
Let's talk about Henry Rollins for a second. Anything I've seen him act in, he's nailed.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you watch Sons of Anarchy, his character, you fucking hate him, but he did such a beautiful job of portraying the white ripped supremacist racist. Like, it's like,
You're not suspecting it either because he's a fucking lead singer of a punk band known as Black Flag.
African American flag, let's not be racist.
African American Flag.
The first song, my first introduction, I'm sorry to cut you off, but my first introduction to him was the song Liar.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. Even now, I hear the word liar and I just think of him just laughing, and it's
solo
amazing.
project Rollins band I
Yeah.
started getting more into, and I even found a CD for like 50 cents one day. I'm like, yep, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is all right. I actually started liking this, and him as a fucking, I don't know why, but him as an actor is just, especially when he's playing a douchebag or a fucking military drill sergeant, whatever, for a fake Survivor's clone in Wrong Turn 2.
Yeah.
Fucking works. And he got shot like 8 times with arrows, and he's like, "You fucking asshole!" Like just keeps fighting him.
Yep.
It's just
It's
like,
just so
what?
It's so funny.
And I'm like, that is fucking great.
And he portrays it so much where you're like, yeah, he is that big of an asshole that
Yeah.
he will not die, and he's just gonna keep yelling at this person for shooting him with an arrow. That's yeah. I'm so glad that you brought it up because I'm going to watch Wrong Turn at some point.
The other one that I watched of it that way too many times because that was the first one I really owned myself, and that was four new. I think it was four
Aren't
new
there,
beginnings.
like, 8 in that series.
8, I believe, counting the new one that had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Because you got 1 through 6, I believe, and then the 7, and then the randomly other one. Because I remember 4 being New Beginnings, and that was the one or Bloody Beginnings, something like that. And that was one of them that I saw way too many times because it showed like how the hell they became inbred hillbilly cannibals.
Sure.
And I'm like, this is pretty dope. What is your number 7, Beastmaster?
Mine, since you guys went with series, I keep hitting this microphone with my nose, just making love. No, just making love with it. Just giving it a little Eskimo kiss. No, since you guys went with series, I'm gonna go with my series.
Okay.
A copycat right
I just
here.
fucking hit my eye with the fucking microphone.
There you go. Just
Ow!
let's all just make
Just
the
Eskimo
kisses.
kiss the microphone.
Anyways,
Were you about to do it?
No, thank
she
you.
thought about it.
You
She-
thought about it.
But then you were like, this wasn't near Rodney's mouth.
No, it just looks like a giant clown nose, and after talking about it, that kind of creeps me out.
So I'm gonna go with my series, the Purge series.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The weird thing about this is, don't like all the movies. Don't even like the first movie.
You just like the concept?
I love the concept of it. I love. They seem to get better and better as the series go on, and then Purge Forever happens, and it's like, okay, maybe this isn't that great, and then you find out there's a TV series,
Yeah.
The Purge, 2 seasons. It was, I can't remember what channel it was on.
I think it was, it might have been like a exclusive or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, but watching those 2 series, they were freaking amazing too because they got to go more in depth with the characters, and like you get to see more characters. Like there's a cult of people that where they are sacrifices for purgers. It's so freaking creepy. And then the second series was what a lot of it was what happened in between the purges. Like they found out that somebody put a hit on them, so he has to find out who put the hit on him, and it's a fun series to get in depth with, and then you start digging through a hole where it's just like, well, what happened during this purge, and then you have all these fan theories and everything. Then I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time to get into this, but yes,
I've never watched any single one, and the only
Okay.
thing is that's when I was working at Spirit Halloween,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I even laughed too because they had a shit ton of masks that no one bought.
Yeah.
For the Purge?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much the same mask over and over again.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
But it was just like nobody cares anymore,
Yeah.
and well, at least in that sense. But I'm just like never seen any of them. I get the concept of was it 12 hours, 24 hours?
For 12 hours. Yeah.
12 hours, all crime is legal. I feel like you could do that here, but I feel like if you did do that in this world, you would have to still get rid of some things. Like you couldn't do everything crime-wise.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I get it, but that'd be holy fuck. You would ridiculously have to plan that through and think that through to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing with this, they did it.
Someone.
They're like government officials. You can't kill them, yeah, and all this other thing. Like there's these little laws that are like weapons of mass destruction. You can't use those.
Yeah.
You can't. There's a typical certain grade of weapon that you can use, and I mean, yeah, there's rules, but. The TV series goes more into the rules and stuff like that. So
yeah, I've only seen the first one,
Sure.
and I think it's a cool concept. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, get your rage out. But also, I could not. If someone was like, "I'm on their list," I'm getting murdered 1,000%.
oh, well,
I can think
I
of
know
one person
the
at work
number
I'd
of.
murder. I mean, what?
I know there's a number of people that will have me on their list, and I know this for a fact. It's a job. It's part of the job of being a boss.
Yeah.
I can see that.
You know that people are going to hate you, and then at the same time,
Damn well know that.
at the same time, I do what I want. Like, I'm the person that I am.
Right.
You're
yeah.
either gonna love me or you're gonna absolutely hate me.
Yeah.
There's really no in between with me.
Right.
So.
What's your next one?
Oh fuck.
Or your 7, I should say.
Oh.
I'm gonna bring up another series because I just
We're all
watched
doing
it. I'm sorry, Final Destination.
Okay.
Those are so good. And of course, a lot of people can't, XYZ, whatever.
I did
Ra-
not. I definitely did not watch those in order
Well,
when I
yeah.
first saw them.
The second movie is a reason why I cannot drive behind semi trucks with trees.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that. Yep.
Oh my god, even semis in general. Like, that freaks me out.
Well, then you can talk about the Joyride series too, or not? What is it? Joyride?
I have no idea.
Where
Sorry,
with
bud,
the
you're
candy?
alone.
Yeah, with the candy cane.
I was thinking
That's it.
Candyman when you said that. Which I've never seen any of those either.
Same.
There's only 3 of them, but they're fucking great.
Is that including the new one?
I did not see the new one.
Okay.
So that's a no.
The first Final Destination I watched was 3. And for a fan of me being a kid and like, oh fuck yeah, roller coasters.
Oh my god.
I hate roller coasters now. Like I hate roller coasters.
Yep.
I
But
only go on them because my nieces like them
makes sense.
and my nephew. So proud of him.
But the other thing I also realized it too while watching it, I'm just like, wait a minute. This chick was in Sky High. And she played the bad guy.
Oh, that's the same chick that played Ramona Flowers, isn't it?
Yep, and
yeah,
Scott,
okay.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Yeah, she also played Ramona Flowers in there. And I'm like, all right, I love her
Yeah.
now. And then
Gorgeous woman.
after that, oh, the other part I loved about 3 was the fact where they were making the song "The Roller Coaster of Love."
Oh yeah.
Roller coaster of love. We're getting copyrighted. And then I think towards the end, she thought she thought she beat everything, and she's on the subway train. And then next year, you just hear a train version of that song, and she's just like, "Fuck." And then was it the 4th or the 5th one where they had like the NASCAR race?
That was the Final Destination because I started
that's,
watching that.
That's the 4th one, right? Because they confused the shit out of me because they went 1, 2, 3, and then 5, I believe.
I think that's how it was. If I
I hate it
remember.
when movies do that.
Oh, me too.
Oh, I just bought like the first 4 from Alex.
Yeah.
And I went to watch it, and I unfortunately started watching The Final Destination first instead of Final Destination because they're all mixed up in my shit. And I was like, this doesn't seem right.
Same thing with the Fast and the Furious movies.
Ugh.
Don't
get me started
titles
on
were
those.
named after the same people that put out Xbox. They were put out by Microsoft.
Xbox 360, Xbox One. Yeah, that makes sense. But I get that though. I
Xbox Series X. Come on, you're the worst Xbox.
Microsoft. Other than that, I don't really remember any of the other Final Destinations. I've seen all of them too.
Well, I just watched the first one, so I remember that one where
She said Daryl
they-
Davis is your friend.
No, it's a Rodney Fred. Because he's still logged in on his
sure.
controller. My PlayStation 5's on, guys. Anyways.
you had me confused. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But yeah, because I also remember that might have been the same one with the NASCAR one in the beginning, where they're like towards the end, they're in the movie theater.
I don't know. Once I realized I was watching the wrong one, I turned it off.
And then tried to find the first
and
one.
wanted to watch the first one. I'm very much in watch it in
Watching it in order.
watch it in
Yeah,
order.
sure.
I've got
I get you.
I swear to God, like ADD and shit. I can't.
ADHD. What up?
Gotta put the hyper in there, high definition. But I get it. I love those series. But I could not for the life of you tell you what the hell's happened in the end one. I just remember one of them also
He's
had
fighting death.
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. That's it.
'Cause I remember
That's the villain.
Yeah, I specifically remember them going to a movie theater and the guy remembers something explodes, so they take him out and something does explode, but then the escalator breaks, and he's trying to hold them, but then they're getting caught in the escalator.
I don't remember
Fun
that
fact.
one.
Yeah.
My cousin got his finger stuck in an escalator and got them ripped off.
How was that
Jesus.
fun? How was it a fun
It's
fact?
absolutely fun.
It's very fun because we're talking about it and it wasn't
If
us.
you ever met this cousin, you're like, yeah, he kind of deserves it.
It's fun fact.
It's a fun fact. So
Did
he's got these two fingers missing up to here, and then this one's all janky.
So like the middle index.
In Mayfair, right?
At Mayfair?
Right at Mayfair, outside the movie theater. So you can visit there. Yeah.
Well, let's go. Like we should just like take pictures. And be like, hey, this is where you lost your fingers.
It's just,
How do you get your finger stuck in an escalator? That is a sidebar.
He wore some shoes that were that were raggedy,
Okay.
like falling apart. So the part of the shoe got stuck in there. So he went in to pull it out, and his fingers got stuck in there and just.
Oh my god, that sounds like a horror movie in and of itself.
That was Final Destination.
Yes.
Except for he cheated death.
Yeah. All right.
And since then, death has been going after him. He's had cancer. He's been.
What a turn of
Way
events.
to bring this down.
Yeah, but he's still alive,
Oh, yeah, I guess.
and we miss him. Of course.
So death really isn't chasing him that hard.
No, not too hard. It's just fucking with him.
So number 6 for me is the Nightmare on Elm Street first couple movies. I was gonna say series, but then the only thing I liked about the remake was the fact that they had one of the main guy in there was also in Jennifer's Body, who played like an emo goth guy, and I just thought that was hilarious because I'm like, that's the same fucking dude. All right, that's the only part of that movie that I liked. The fact that it wasn't Robert Englund, I get it. It's scarier for now. I get that. But Robert Englund could have easily played that at that time, that character, when that came out again. And you would have been fine.
Yeah.
And then the first one with Johnny Depp in there was hilarious, where he gets sucked into the bed.
Yeah.
And that whole premise of the movie is fucking great.
Sure.
And like people made fun of that. Like I just also the other thing I remember about those movies is actually not those movies. It's the fucking Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, where Willie's murdered because he burned to the fire, and Groundskeeper Willie, and he fucking comes back and tries murdering everybody in their dreams.
Nice.
And I'm like, fucking
Simpsons
what the hell?
has to do everything better.
Yeah, and then like that just made my day. I guess you could say a horror movie. Are we classifying zombie movies in here too?
They're horror movies.
Yeah, they're horror movies.
I've got 3 movies in here that probably aren't considered horror movies, but
I'm putting this in there because it's more of a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a fucking horrible movie.
Sure.
Okay.
Robert Englund's in it, and this is why I'm bringing it up because of Nightmare on Elm Street. Jenna Jameson is in it.
Of course, why not?
I can't remember the other people besides that. Zombie strippers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It's so fucking bad. Like they're fighting some outbreak of zombie stuff with the military, and this one guy gets bit, and I think strip clubs are illegal or something in the movie. And he like goes to this weird door, and somehow he's just in a strip club and turns all the strippers zombies. And Jenna Jameson's there just kicking everybody's ass for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Why
And
wouldn't she?
It's so bad. But I just had to bring that up with the Robert Englund part. That movie's so terrible.
Sometimes those are the most enjoyable. Like, you're like, God, this movie's terrible. Why am I still watching it?
Right.
Because it's funny.
Because it's about zombie strippers.
Yeah.
And you have to
That's
watch
all
it.
you need to know about the movie, and you know what the entire movie's about.
You're right. What's up for you?
I'm gonna because I have a fun story with this one. This one probably is considered more of sci-fi, but I consider it horror. You've been to my house
Multiple times.
multiple times, so it's the first thing you see when you come up to my place. There's an alien
They live.
looking out my window. They live
Nice.
Have you seen it?
No.
with Roddy Piper.
You know who that is?
The name sounds familiar, but it
He's
isn't.
Wrestler.
a pro wrestler.
Okay, yeah, that's why it sounds familiar.
This movie is also famous for having the longest fight scene ever in a movie.
That has. Was that the one with him and well, I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
He does fucking everything, and he voices
He is.
everything.
but they are. Roddy Piper wants him to put on this pair of sunglasses,
So you can see the aliens.
and the guy is just like, no, I'm not putting on these sunglasses. So they have a 5 to 10 minute fight.
Oh my
Trying
god.
Roddy Piper telling him to put on the sunglasses, and they just beat the crap out of each other for 5 minutes. And it's
I
so amazing.
literally thought, like, at that point of the time of the movie, I'm like, why is this so fucking long? Like, did he just, like, not just jump out of him and give him the fucking glasses?
And this movie is known for so much. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all
love
out
that
of bubble
line.
gum.
I love that line.
He comes out, and what it is there's this alien invasion, but the only way you can see that they're aliens is by putting on these sunglasses. Later, they changed into contact lenses. So
I thought they just turned off the,
no, that happens later.
Oh, okay.
That happens later. So that's the ending of the movie. But
My bad.
Way to go.
you ruined it for everybody.
Spoilers.
For a 40-year-old movie. But it's Roddy Piper just basically going out fighting these aliens with some other people. He plays a homeless guy that
But, like, I think he's trying to
in
get a
San
job
Francisco,
or something.
Yeah, and finds out that these aliens are real and everything like that. So it's a very fun movie. My favorite story about this movie, though, comes from probably about 10 years ago. My mom was spending the night at my place, so I was like, hey, let's watch They Live. I put this in, and about 10 minutes into the movie, I turn to my mom and go, hey, Mom, you know this movie's based on a real true story.
No
And
way.
she's like, really? I go, of course it is, Mom. And my mom knows me. She knows that I will lie to her about the dumbest stuff. And so she's just like, oh, okay. And she's sitting there on her laptop, and normally she plays games while the movies are on. And like half an hour later, she goes, Joe, I've been looking up this movie. I've been looking this up for so long. I can't find anything about it. I go,
Oh.
Mom, you believe me? And at that point, she's like, why did I believe you?
She should know better.
She should absolutely know better. She definitely should know better, but she believed it. And I'm like, Mom, you really believe me? And I thought she was kidding, but no. She got so mad, but we finished watching the movie, and it was wonderful. Mother-son bonding.
One of the other things I loved about that movie
Yeah.
is the tie-in they did with Saints Row, I believe, 4. Because they, one of the voice actors is that guy in there too. Again, not Roddy Piper, but the other one.
Sure.
And so because of that, they put Roddy Piper in the game,
Yeah.
and he voiced him too. And they did that whole like fight scene with him in the game for no fucking reason.
Saints Row's like that. Saint Rose is awesome.
And I'm just like, this is great.
But definitely, you should watch that movie. It
Oh.
sounds like you've already watched it. You definitely should watch it.
All right, is that on the list now?
Oh yeah.
And
This
then
is gonna sound weird, but I gotta take you to his house too, just so you can see it.
we'll do a podcast from my house at some point. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff in my house that.
I think is that where?
That's where I've been doing the live streams with the auctions.
Correct, but you sent me pictures a while back of like
Yeah, because it was
that
in his
was
living
Joe's
room.
house.
Right next to where your table is, in your kitchen/dining area, and then to your left, if you're looking at the table
Sure.
from your stove
Sure.
to your left, that first like shelf and stuff you got, I was taking pictures of.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think I sent her the giant Ninja Turtles too that were in front of by the
Oh,
PlayStation.
those things. After I bought my house, like I saw those. Like I was getting ready to put a bid on a house, and I saw those things, and I'm like, they had them for $2,500, I believe.
Jesus.
And I saw them, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. And then I found out that I wasn't supposed to spend money until
You
Everything
closed
like
on the house, yeah.
everything closed on the house. So I was making all this money and spending none of it. So
Ugh.
and when I'm stressed out, I tend to buy a lot of things. So the entire, like, I had people change the passwords of my Amazon account. I had people hide my credit card from me so that if I needed to buy gas or something like that, it could do that. And after that, after I got approved for the house, I was like, can I spend money now? And they're like, yes. And I drove up to Freak Toys in Sheboygan and bought that.
That's
those
fucking
things.
awesome.
And
I
they're just
should have
awesome.
fucking went there with you. I was gonna go and I completely spaced on that.
Oh, yeah. I'll take you at some point.
I was gonna say.
We'll
Road trip?
all go.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
What's your number
You're
6?
not invited.
No.
You know what? That's
You're invited, but not me.
Oh, I guess Joe and I are going on a date.
Yep. Okay, me and you go. Cool. Chris,
Okay.
you're out.
That shit happens.
It's nice knowing you, Christopher.
What's your number 6, baby?
Shit.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's just a
I
really
didn't
budget
enjoy that
version
one
of it.
too much. Okay.
All right. Anyways,
Oh my god. So of course it's just a comedy horror. Snakes on a Plane. Just so I like the movies that are so terrible horror movies. They're just laughable.
I mean, technically, you could classify it as a thriller, but isn't that almost the same thing on certain sense? Thriller and horror, there is a lot that kind of like would
honestly,
cross between the two.
They Live is probably a sci-fi movie instead of a horror movie.
Yeah.
But
I
in
mean,
this
there is
case,
parts in there that are like jump scares that
in
you
this
would get
case,
for a horror
let's not
movie.
split hairs.
Okay. Anyways. But I was really hoping you just said these goddamn, what was it? The goddamn snakes on these.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
That's
That's
what I was-
right.
I really thought you were gonna say you just put that on the list because of that.
No. If I had put it on the list for any reason at all, it would be for the song on the album, Snakes on a Plane, because
Oh.
it's Cobra Starship. That chick from that band that I can't think of what it is right
That was
now.
very
Very
specific.
descriptive.
Thank
I love that you did research on this.
I was thinking about this all day, but I'm so busy at work, I just can't put brain
Figured
effort into what it
You're
is.
good.
And then Travis McCoy from Gym Class Heroes. It's a good song.
Okay.
It's a stupid movie, and it's got Taylor Kish, and his dick gets bit by the snake.
Never seen
And
it.
then oh my god.
Can't
Okay,
comment on it.
I'm gonna
The
have to
only
have.
part I've seen is 100,000 times is these motherfucking snakes on the motherfucking plane, and the spoof movie where they made fun of it and they couldn't say motherfucker because it was PG-13. So he's like, these goddamn snakes.
I'm gonna have to get my disc resurfaced, and then you can borrow it, because not only does he get like a snake bite his dick, but this chick, they're having sex in the bathroom, Mile High Club,
course.
and of course, 2 snakes bite her right in the nipples, and it's so
Oh,
stupid.
They
Two-
made fun of
two
that in the
snakes.
movie too.
Two
Two
snakes.
snakes had the idea at the same time, like, whoa, what are
Nipples.
those nipples for?
Oh, those look pretty
Let,
cool.
let me taste one of them. And like, you get that one, I'll get that one. All right, let's go. And the snakes, boom, right in the nips.
I think that's how they wrote the movie.
Okay, they were like snakes like nipples. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Oh,
That was
that's
such
great.
a weird one.
My number 5, since another one that I added into this too, is a twofer. Almost a threefer. Because Friday the 13th,
Sure.
I did not fully see Jason X because I thought it was so dumb with the whole space thing.
I've never watched that one either.
I started to, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And I loved the originally how wasn't Jason not in technically the first one?
He was in the very end.
Yeah.
He dove out of the water. Spoiler alert. He dove out of the water and dragged the survivor into the lake.
Right. Because it was all about his mother.
Yeah. His mother was a murderer in that one.
And then the original mask that he had, which was, I don't know if it was original, but it was like a bag with one hole in the eye for
Yep.
an eye. I like that. And I'm saying this is a threefer because the second one, I'm also going to cross back into Nightmare on Elm Street. I was going to say Nightmare Before Christmas. And that is the Freddy vs. Jason. A lot of people didn't like that, but I fucking love that movie. And the
Two horror icons going at it.
Yes.
Just, the two big beefy men slapping meat.
there was
Love that.
also because we've referenced that too many times in this. The other part about that too is that they had originally written an idea to do a sequel to that, and it wasn't 100% confirmed. But they were gonna do a Freddy vs. Jason vs. Alien vs. Predator.
Stop.
Wow. It's a 4-way
Yeah.
big beefy man.
Big beefy men and an alien.
Slapping meat.
And I'd be like, even if they didn't do that and they just did a regular
Actually, the
sequel,
alien was a female.
There you go. The only thing with that is, like, even if they didn't do that and just did a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason, would have been great because of the fucking cliffhanger at the end, where Freddy was beheaded. Spoiler, by Jason.
What?
And they come out of the water, i.e., like the first one for
Sure.
fucking Friday the 13th, with Jason holding Freddy's head, and Freddy's eye open and he winks like it's a cliffhanger. I'm like, you motherfucker, there's gonna be another one. And no, they don't do jack shit with it, and that drove me nuts.
Okay.
Because I was really hoping they made a sequel to that, and just because it tied with it, that has nothing to do with those two, and that's African American Xmas. Sorry, Black Xmas. It's actually Black Xmas. I was doing the whole. Yeah. Anyways,
Politically
No
correct thing.
kidding.
we're,
I don't believe in racism, so anytime somebody says the B word,
Or-
I say
or white.
African American or what or wow, you're just flat out gonna say it.
Caucasian.
Wow.
it can be whatever Asian you want. But no, Black Xmas and that, and the premise of that is that
They have nothing to do with each other.
no, but just on my ranking, that's what just they did right there.
Okay.
And I couldn't decide where to put them. But Black Xmas, the one I originally watched was, I think, a remake. But the idea of it was that this first kid was born, and he saw his mother kill his father,
As they do.
Jesus.
and she noticed and locked him in the attic. And then his mother started dating another guy and married, and then the mother was trying to have a child, but the father could never do it, or he would pass out. I think in the scene you see in the movie, he falls asleep, ironically, in the middle of sex.
We've all
Been
done
there,
that.
done that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not that one, but okay.
Listen, joke just went right over your head.
Yeah. Anyways, you did. And then because of that, the mom gets the idea to fuck the kid that they already have. So the child, his sister, is also his daughter.
What the fuck?
And
We've all been there.
I'm sorry. No, I'm.
and
Okay, so you've got an edible complex. Good to know. Good to know.
the time goes by. The son grows up, and the daughter too. Whatever, sister,
Yeah.
the sorcerer.
Some Alabama shit.
And the son's had enough, and because it's a sister and daughter, he doesn't do anything to her, and kills the mother.
Okay.
And the first scene that I saw after he kills her was he takes a cookie cutter of a Christmas tree, because it's Christmas and they're baking Christmas cookies,
Right.
into her back, and takes the skin, puts them on a baking sheet, sticks them in the oven,
Stop.
and then takes them out. And the cops show up and just find him sitting at the table eating the baked sheets of skin that were cookies.
Were they crispy?
Disgusting.
Yes.
So it's like
He didn't-
bacon?
And he was dunking it into milk too, which is the funnier part. And that's how you find him. And then later they sent him to the mental hospital, whatever. And it turns into like a sorority house.
Sure.
And he comes back. And he escapes the mental hospital. That's the reason why he goes back to that house.
That's a house he knows.
Yeah. And then that's where you later find out that his daughter/sister is still alive too. And then they're in cahoots.
Always in codes.
And she starts killing people and eating them. And that
They become a couple.
yeah. Actually, I think
Are
they
you
do.
serious?
I'm not
God,
100%. I'm not 100%.
I was kidding.
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen it in a while, but that'd be hilarious if it's true.
I guess the ending of a movie that I've probably seen at some point in my life, but probably not.
And the other part I liked about it is, Joe, did you ever watch Arrow?
No.
Damn it.
Steve Amell.
Yes, not him, but like one of the main love interests in it that he was
Sure.
dating in the show is in that movie.
Congratulations.
And that's another reason why I liked it, is because I realized she was in there, and I'm like, no fucking way. But
in
that
the
was
remake.
that was my fifth. All
Okay.
three.
Well, then I am going to go with a movie called Battle Royale.
Is that the
I think I've
spin-off
heard
of
it, but
Hunger
haven't.
Games? Or what Hunger Games is based on?
Yes.
Okay, then I know it.
What it is, it's a Japanese movie about overpopulation, where they start taking classrooms of kids, putting them in the forest, and having them murder each other until there's one left.
So it's Hunger Games rated R.
The book is way more
Gruesome.
gruesome. There's a lot more going on in there, but yes, it's it's
I'm gonna have to watch that now too and read it.
lot
Same.
harder. Like they put out a second movie. Nobody ever talks about the second movie, but it's very confusing to me because I'm terrible with names.
I think we've been like this the whole time. I'm trying to remember the freaking actors and actresses that are in
Yes,
these movies.
absolutely. So-
and we're like, what is it again?
And I also have trouble reading. I have dyslexia, so and ADHD, as you guys know. So reading is the toughest thing in the world for me. But I will sit there and read this movie because it's all subtitled.
Yeah.
But it's a messed up movie, and just knowing that it came out in I think in the 80s or early 90s, and
The shit they did in it.
so messed up.
Yeah.
Like just the fact that was that idea. Just we're overpopulated. Put these 30 kids in this island and just have them murder each other, and just if they have to wear neck braces if they leave the island, they blow up, and it's messed up.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful movie though.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah,
apparently.
absolutely. These kids were assholes. They started off with violent classes, or not violent classes. They have there was a stabbing in this class, so the whole class got to go on the island and have fun and murder each other. And you know,
They got to go on the island
Yeah.
and murder each other. Okay.
And there were 2 volunteers also that were put on the island with them too.
Like adult volunteers?
No.
Oh.
Student volunteers.
Okay.
Where they're like, we're part of your class now. We're gonna try murdering you. Have fun
Fun.
with this.
Was there a premise of that movie where they didn't know that was happening?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I was thinking, like, I wonder if they just randomly threw people in there too, like, they didn't tell them at the last minute type shit.
Well, no. They thought they were going on a field trip, but then
Oh.
they ended up drugging them and taking them on these islands, and then they're like, so that way the kids wouldn't escape.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then you deal with love and murder and all this other stuff. It's a romantic movie too.
Is that for? Are you for real?
Yeah.
Fucking. We gotta watch it now.
Yes.
Where's the next
I've
one?
got
Which
this
that
at
would be
home.
great because you know me, I love subtitles and you cannot handle them. You
Oh,
always
if it's a
turn them
movie I
off.
need to watch subtitles, I won't mind. Like, that's why I love District 13 and District 13 Ultimatum. It is a movie literally based off parkour about how a cop like infiltrates like a drug area, and like one guy that dealt with the drugs, they become like partners and shit. But the thing that I hated about that it's in French. The thing that I hated about that movie
I forgot that.
is the English remake they made, the American version of it, with fucking Paul Walker, and called it Brick Mansions, where Paul Walker, being Paul Walker he's not a bad actor. The only thing I can think of him in is literally fucking Fast and the Furious. Because that's the first thing that goes to my
He
mind.
was also in Joyride.
Never seen it.
You should
Yeah,
watch that. That's
but-
actually a good movie.
Makes sense. Another car movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the thing about it is that they kept one of the guys from the fucking original movie in it, and that spoke English too, and didn't change Paul Walker's character. It was just Paul Walker, and literally the whole fucking English version was shot for shot remake of the French one, but worse because Paul Walker does not do parkour, and like all the action in there is like, what? Like, I get it with the guy that's done it before, but, like, I will gladly watch District 13 100 times over than fucking Brick Mansion, and I don't care that I have to read the subtitles for it.
Okay.
That same
A
thing.
Brick Mansion tangent.
Same thing with like
Yeah.
a lot of the is it Taiwanese, Thailand general language.
Sure.
Movies I've been watching lately, the action movies with the Protector because of Tony Ya, who does a lot of shit. He also did the fight choreograph for Mortal Kombat 2 for Liu Kang, or Annihilation, you want to call it. And he does that, and it's all subtitled. And I'm like, I don't mind because these movies are fucking good. It's just I'll sit through a fucking movie if it's subtitled that I have to read subtitles,
Sure.
or if I don't understand what the fuck someone's saying. But, anyways, what is your number 5?
We went on
I went on a rant there. I'm sorry.
a French movie rant.
You had me, and then you lost me.
I kind of figured that.
That's fine. 13 Ghosts, since we just watched it.
I actually love that movie. The only thing
The Shannon Elizabeth one?
Yeah.
The only thing I wasn't a big fan of
Mm-hmm.
was, I get it, it's a fucking horror movie, but the holy bad CGI with that random machine
Oh
in
my
the middle
god, yeah.
with the gears or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that wasn't that bad, but it was just like, that just looks so weird.
Yeah. That's how I felt when we were watching I Spit on Your Grave and they had
With the
the
crows?
crows.
Yeah.
I was like, these are terrible. They had one CGI leaf. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Just leave the stupid CGI leaf out.
Yeah.
But-
And then the CGI crows, that made sense, though, because how are you going to get crows to train to, or even fake crows, to, like, dig someone's eyes out in a movie?
Why
Well,
wouldn't
yeah.
you?
How the fuck would you do that, though?
I mean, then you'd have a real murder of crows.
We'll be fine. I'm just kidding.
And this is where I leave you guys.
Oh, thank God.
Fucking Monk and Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh my God. That kind of irritated me about the movie, especially watching it for the first time
Wait,
in a while.
was her? Is that what irritated you?
No. Tony Shalhoub having like some of the characteristics that he had when playing Monk for the TV show,
Because
like the way he
was
moved
his
his
best
fingers.
character. That's why.
He-
And then he probably just kept some of that in there. The one thing I didn't like was Shannon Elizabeth and his daughter, and she looks like almost like maybe 10 to 15, 20 years younger than him.
Still
right.
gorgeous.
True, but
Correct.
it was just really weird.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
fully understand.
Like you have to
that.
go save your kids, and one looks like they could do it themselves.
Right. One looks like she is your younger son's mom. Super weird. I loved the lawyer getting sliced in half.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Ugh. Ah, yes.
And like he's stealing the money, and then he gets trapped between the door.
Yep.
That was the other thing about that movie, though. Did they end up going back to see if they could find the money? No.
Here's the thing that irritated me too is they see what the lady that played Matilda, the teacher in Matilda,
Miss Honey.
yeah, Miss Honey. She's in there.
Wow.
Really?
Right,
Where?
yeah, she's the lady with the book. I can't think of her
Oh,
fucking
that's
name.
right.
Oh yeah.
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 She,
Who ends up being a bad guy?
yeah, she
And
was
you don't
in it.
know it?
She was in it for the money. She doesn't even try to go and take the suitcase full of fucking money.
Yeah.
What the
Walks
fuck?
right past the guy. Like, hey,
Yeah,
there's a
just-
whole bunch of money on the gun. Nah, fuck it.
Bye. I loved Matthew Lillard in there too.
I love
Ugh.
Matthew Lillard. He
I-
is underrated to a T. A lot of people didn't like him as Shaggy at first
Ugh.
in the Scooby-Doo movies, but then it kind of grew on me and grew on other people too, and that's what she said. And I'm just like okay with that. And he
Yeah.
actually was a great person to play Shaggy.
Yeah.
They even made a joke about that too, with because he was in Looney Tunes Back in Action with Brendan Fraser. It was like the second live action movie they did after, or the live action movie mixed with Looney Tunes characters after Space Jam.
Such a good one.
And they're in a restaurant, and I forgot her name, but I can't remember her name. But she's in a lot of fucking movies, and it's just like if I saw her, I still wouldn't know the name because I just know the face. That doesn't help anyways. But she was like talking to like Donald Duck because she was firing him,
Right.
and you just see in the background Matthew Lillard talking to Shaggy and Scooby about how his character. And him in Scream was just fucking great too.
Should
And
have watched that one.
it's just,
Yeah.
anyways.
Also, this is a sidebars. I think he is getting better as an act, not just as an actor, but in general as he ages.
Yeah,
Because-
because he's working on his stuff more. I get that.
Yeah, because he was in Good Girls that I was watching. So good. He plays a fucking douchebag, cheating on his wife. But then, whatever. He gets better.
Yeah.
Anyway, my bad.
My number 4 is the original Carrie and the remake. Not the crappy TV spinoff they did with the first one, or the TV movie.
With Amelia D. Raven.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I love Sissy Spacek. Did fucking great. Sissy Spacek was in Blast from the Past. She played the mom of Brendan Fraser. That's the main chick from
Oh,
Carrie.
yeah. I had to think about that. We watch so many movies.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Same.
The original one was great.
The one thing I didn't like about the original one
Was
how
the teenage boobs in the beginning. The first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that was
it's
weird.
the most uncomfortable.
You said what? Did you say teenage boobs?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a girl's shower,
Yeah.
and it
It's
goes
just
on
really
for
uncomfortable
way
because
too long.
I don't know if she has her period or something.
Yeah, and then
And
they
it-
throw tampons at her. It's like, plug it
Yeah.
up. It's
Fuck
so
it.
good.
And you just hear them
terrible.
chant, plug it up. But it just.
In fact, my friend Luke worked at a corner store at in a mall,
Yeah.
and there was a girl that worked across the thing, and she would come in, and there was one time where she came in and goes, "Do you guys have tampons?" So I picked them up and threw them at her and said, "Plug it up, plug it up."
Jesus. No, I didn't. You kind of see it in the remake, but how ridiculously religious the mom was, but also not just because of that. It was like I felt like she, even for the time period of the 70s, was it 70s or 80s that it came out originally? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Whenever it came out, she was like almost like she felt like I felt like she would have been a better person if it was still during the Salem witch trials type character. Like that's how the mom was, and then like when she goes to beat Carrie, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is weird. And then the one thing I feel like the sequel or the remake did better was the more telekinetic powers.
Sure.
In that, and then I liked that. But then when I went to go watch the original before I watched the new one, the only thing is now is that a horror movie from that time period is just sometimes laughable
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because of just the shit that they say is just like that's just fucking stupid, and it's hilarious. Like I don't think I would get like if somebody started swearing at me like that. I'm like okay, like you wouldn't think it'd be like, holy shit, your weird telekinetic powers, or you're possessed or anything, and you're just like this is just everyday life.
Yeah. Or even like Tourette's kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm thinking of. Is
70s
like,
were a weird time.
I know that's because two more of mine. Is I have another thing to talk about like that too. Anyways, what is your number 4?
I'm going to go with The Sacrament.
I have not.
Neither of you have heard of it?
Listen, I'm sorry.
Not
homie.
many people have.
Uh, okay, so then don't be giving us shit for it.
No, I wasn't.
We're gonna give a shit for it anyways.
I wasn't. It's a movie, probably 2015.
Okay.
It's a movie that's loosely that's based on the Jim Jones massacre.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
It's a documentary crew goes in and tries to see what this is all about, and they invite them in, and then people want to escape, and yeah, I love like cults interest me all the time. Like
Sorry.
it's creepy how much I've investigated cults and learned about the cults, and in fact, there's a place in Savannah, Georgia. It's called the Grave Face Museum, where they have like paintings from John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a documentary about John Wayne Gacy, but in there they have cult memorabilia, and a couple months ago they had cults from the suicide cult.
Oh, the one with
Heaven's
the Kool-Aid?
Gate.
Yeah.
They had
Oh,
Heaven's
yeah,
Gate
yeah.
members there, and talked about their time with the cult and stuff like that. So
That speaking of the John Wayne Gacy part though,
Yeah.
I believe it's still there. But there was a torture museum in the Dells. It's like I don't want to call it a torture like a museum because it's literally like 2, maybe 3 rooms.
yes,
But they had John Wayne Gacy painting in there.
yeah.
And then some Dahmer stuff too.
See,
which I thought was pretty cool.
the owner of the Grave Face Museum actually got to know the Gacy family and got like a bunch of his personal memorabilia and stuff like that, and like learned all this stuff about the case and stuff like that. So he's making a documentary, and I can't wait to see it. But
That's actually going to be interesting.
back to the Sacrament. This is a movie that a friend at work told me about, so I watched it, and like I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times. It's like it's not exactly like the John Jones Kool-Aid Flavor Aid thing, but
Yeah.
it's just so good, and the cult leader is so believable that at the end you're like, I may have followed him.
Oh yeah.
So like turning everything. But
Weird. Like that's like how believable it is that you're like, I could see myself doing
I could
that.
see
Yeah.
that myself. So it just kind of creeps me out. And I like it. It's really good. So I definitely suggest you guys watch The Sacrament.
Sacrament, all right. What I already said.
A lot of these I'll bring to you on
It's your number.
Saturday.
Okay, cool. It's your number 4.
Okay. I gotta bring up my zombie movie now, Dawn of the Dead, just because it takes place in Milwaukee.
Sure.
But also, I love Ty Burrell. And the fact that he plays like a douchebag.
Oh, he
My
is a
favorite.
douchebag in that movie.
Yes. And then the ending credits is the like kind of jazzy version of Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
I just chef's kiss for the end for me.
I mean, I've never seen it.
What?
It's a really good movie.
Oh my god, I'm so disappointed in you.
I am.
Most people are.
I am so over the zombie trope in movies. Like
Yeah.
It's probably because it's done so many times.
it's done so
Yeah.
many times, and there's not many good ones. Like, so when they were talking about Walking Dead,
Yeah.
I had no interest in it, and then I started watching it, and I'm like, this show's dumb.
I literally, for zombie wise, I got into the 2nd season of Walking Dead and I stopped caring. I'm like, I don't care. I can't do this.
Yeah, it's to me, it's just, who cares?
Yeah.
So, but that one is amazing because it's less about the zombies and more about people being assholes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
And it's another one like Daryl was talking about before with the freaking zombie baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the guy with his wife who's whatever nationality she was.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
definitely not American.
My Oh, were you good?
No, I was just thinking about it. Anyway.
My number 3 is ironically my favorite movie of all time. And another movie that I'm going to discuss in a second. But my favorite movie of all time, Trick or Treat.
Mhm.
It's not my number 1. It's my favorite of all time, which doesn't make
Surprise.
sense. But yeah, I feel like it's because it's a movie. It's not zombie. Well, it kind of is zombie related with the kids that were murdered or drowned or whatever, and they technically come back.
I don't know if that's zombie though.
Good question, because they specifically go after the bus driver towards the end, and you're
Right.
like, wait a minute, how would a zombie remember? Anyways, but besides that, you also have the werewolf thing,
Oh, yeah.
and I love that it was like 4 stories in one,
Uh-huh.
and then you realize it in the beginning, and that technically the beginning is the ending,
Yep.
and all of it somehow goes together, and I just love that. And also the fact that it's based off a graphic novel that they're supposed to be making another one. I've heard rumors a whole bunch of years of them making a sequel. And the one thing I loved about it, too, is that the creator of the graphic novel wanted to make a specific character for Halloween. Not just like, yeah, there's witches, whatever, cats, whatever, ghosts. Just one specific character that could represent Halloween. And it was Sam, which is underneath the mask. It looks like a little kid, but it's like a cross between the skull and a jack-o'-lantern
Ooh, right.
for his head.
Yeah.
And I just love that. And I love the whole like rules of Halloween aspect of it. And then just that whole premise of all the stories end up combining
Yeah.
at the end. I just love shit like that. And I just really want another one to happen. The second movie I put in with my number 3 it's kind of it's a series, but I'm not saying the whole series because after like the third one, it was just fucking horrible. They're not great movies, anyways. But it's VHS.
I've never seen that movie.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, there might be 4 of them. Maybe 5.
I think there's 5 because they made like 1984 and then.
And there was like
95.
VHS viral or something. And it's just a whole bunch of stories that really don't go together at all, besides the fact that these guys find him in a house in the first one, I think. And when you said the cult thing, that's what also kind of reminded me of it, because in the second one, this guy's doing like a documentary on like this school and like this almost like a religion, and you find out it is a cult, and all you can see is like Satan or some demon thing being brought up for life and start running after the fucking cameraman.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I just loved that. Is it a good movie? Fuck no. But it's one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
A
in my
lot
number
of these.
3.
A lot of these compilations. Thank you. That's a word that I can't say. Movies, they have nothing to do with each other than the director kind of wanted
A whole bunch of stories in
a
one.
whole bunch of stories. Like this is a good premise, but it can't take up a movie. So VHS is okay with that. There's a lot of creepy stuff in there.
After
Some
the
of them
second
are
one,
absolutely great. Other ones are just like
horrible. Like after the second one, I just did not give a shit. Like the first one was good for that style. The second one was okay, and then the third one it was just like this. This doesn't even look like a found footage story thing. It's just here.
Yeah.
And other than that, but it was my number 3 just because I started watching them and then I got into them and then the third one hit and I'm like, and I'm done.
Yeah. But the other ones aren't terrible, but I mean they're not as great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you guys about a movie called Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Have either of you heard of them?
No.
It sounds familiar, but I also thought it was going to be a behind-the-scenes thing when you said that at first.
No.
Or like a wrestler
No, it's
documentary.
Behind the Mask. This one is supposed to be, it's a documentary shot as a documentary where the documentarians, I said that word flawlessly, and the documentarians like hear about this guy that wants to start to become a spree killer.
Okay.
Spree killer. So he's like, all right, I found this victim, the virginal girl, that I'm gonna murder. I'm gonna murder all her friends too. And like the documentary crew is following him around. It's like, okay, so this is how you're stalking her. You're creeping her out, and you're scaring her, and you're following her to work and planning things so that she has it with her for this thing. And after, like, they go through this entire story, and it's like, where's this all gonna go? Is this documentary crew just gonna let him kill him? Or
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, it sounds like they're just there, and I'm like, are they gonna call the cops?
Yeah, like they're interviewing this guy, and then with that, they're interviewing another person that influenced this guy to become a spree killer and all this other thing. So it's a great movie, and you don't see a lot of it coming. So
Right. That's
it's got some humor in it too, and just yeah.
Okay.
that actually sounds pretty interesting, especially like a documentary or a mockumentary style.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, that's pretty interesting. What do you got?
I was thinking about House on Haunted Hill, the new version. Unfortunately, for some reason I like them.
Not
all
the
the newer
Vincent
ones.
Price one.
No, the
Haven't
one
seen
with
either.
like Ali Larder, Tay Diggs,
Sure.
Famke Janssen, the one that I thought was Juliana Margulies last time. Whatever movie that was we watched. I don't know.
It's okay. That's like when we were trying to figure out which fucking Culkin it was in Lords of Chaos
Yeah, and it was a totally new one.
that we've never seen in our life.
So many
'Cause
Culkins.
I thought it was the guy from
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim versus the
Yeah.
World, that Culkin, and then because
Kieran.
it's probably because of the hair, with the color of the hair, and
Yeah.
from Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I thought it was the same guy.
What, all the Culkins are getting a shot at this?
Apparently,
All except for the dead
Okay.
ones.
it's
Oh, well, we missed them.
yeah, because like 2 of his sisters are dead, and
Yeah.
you're just like, sucks to be a Culkin girl.
Are we gonna start a rumor that it was Macaulay Culkin that killed him?
No, we're not. That is what, slander? Because it's words.
I don't know.
Yes, we totally are going to do this.
I love how you told me to cover my ears, but I could not hear fucking shit that you just said. I am
So we're
deaf.
fine.
know
So we're
exactly
fine.
what. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Chris, we're talking about wrestling, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm
Wait,
looking at Kurt and your
Macaulay
next about
Culkin
Goldberg.
totally killed his sisters. He killed
Okay,
them.
good. I'm
There,
not
stabbed
in on
them in
this.
the
was a
neck.
diary
Yeah,
of how he did it.
Probably raped them too.
The Diary of Macaulay Culkin.
That sounds like a
Let's-
really
let's-
bad movie, but like a great movie.
Let's take away the rape part. He murdered them. So.
Oh god.
Oh,
Anyways.
I'm done with you.
I've never seen any of those movies. Even the Vincent Price one, I haven't seen either.
Really? Okay, I have it on DVD. I'm bringing it over next time. I'll
Okay.
watch it again.
Well, every movie
Macaulay
we're just gonna
Culkin's
watch.
a murderer.
It was so I thought it was so. So you've seen it, Joe? I'm assuming.
Sure, I've seen a lot of things. I have 43 years of life. I've seen a lot of movies.
Okay.
I've worked with movies for 15 years.
No shit, I did not know that about you.
I did.
It's only the second time I'm
worked
meeting
at,
you, though. So.
I used DVD plays, so I would borrow a lot of them.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Sure.
Right. I didn't think of it in that sense.
There you go.
Words are hard. Brain ain't braining. The beginning, like he makes a guest list for his wife's party.
Sure.
And it's somehow something goes into his computer and changes all the lists, and it's just a bunch of random fucking people that tie in the end. You'll see it. when
So
you
what you're
watch it.
saying is you're describing Clue. I'm just kidding.
No,
Actually,
it's different.
kinda, yeah.
Honestly, the premise somewhat similar. If you're in a broad
Well,
general
yeah,
sense.
but that's also more like you're not trying to find the killer or who did it.
Yeah, God, I really want to fucking watch Clue right now.
Gotta do too. Fucking Tim Curry.
Ugh.
I like wrestling.
Ditto. But okay, another movie I'm gonna have to fucking watch.
House
There's
on
like
Haunted Hill?
800 movies. Yes,
Yeah.
Clue.
Clue
Yes,
or
House on Haunted
House on
Hill.
the Rock, House on the Haunted Hill.
both.
Both, yeah.
love
I already
Clue.
knew he was going to say that.
I love Clue though.
It's so good.
Colonel Mustard was my favorite just because I love mustard.
Mustard is disgusting.
You're welcome. Okay,
Uh-uh.
my number 2 is a 2 movie again, but it's a 70s era movies, and it's The Exorcist, the original Exorcist.
Okay.
And it's only because the first time I watched it with my dad, and we just started laughing our asses off at the line of "Your mother sucks cocks in hell,"
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
and we just died laughing. You're like, this is supposed to be a horror movie, and I find this fucking hysterical.
How old were you?
This is
14, I think, maybe 15.
Okay.
This is the only movie that creeps my brother out. Every other movie he can get past, this one he can't. It creeps him out.
This the movie I'm going to tie in with this too is there's one scene that definitely gives me the hibbity jibbities. But like that movie is like one of the other better movies that got me more into horror movies.
Sure.
Just because of how hilarious that was to me. It's been same with Clockwork Orange. I love that movie.
Never actually sat down and watched the entire
Me
movie because
either.
I get bored with
Oh, I get that. That movie does get slow,
Yeah.
and it sucks that way. But the other movie I put with it, I don't know if you guys seen it, but Rosemary's Baby.
Nope.
And it's about how this I think they're married, couple move into like an apartment area, whatever. They become friends with the neighbor, sort of. But like they're trying to have a kid, and the wife doesn't get pregnant, but she doesn't know that her husband and the neighbors are all Satanists in a cult, and Satan has sex with her.
What the fuck?
And she wakes up in the middle
that
of it.
happens sometimes, man.
Why do
Yeah,
we
that was my last Wednesday.
all these movies with
Um,
rapes?
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't notice that.
Because rape is scary.
Yeah.
You are not incorrect, Joe.
But no, like that movie was the one that really gave me the freaks of when you see the scene of the camera, both camera angle POVs of Satan fucking Rosemary and Rosemary getting fucked by Satan, and you're just like, this is fucking creeping me out now. And then she has the kid, and I think she knows, but doesn't think it's real at first that it's Satan's kid. That she just thinks it was all a dream. And but they're cultists in the satanic cult, and that one really put me over when I first saw that movie, that really put me over the fucking edge of like, what the fuck? And that was one of the first movies that I really got into. I didn't at first my brother Matt showed me it, and then I'm just like, all right, let me watch this again, and I'm like, yep, never mind. I'm getting freaked out. But yeah, The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby is my number 2.
All right. All right, I'm just going to go with Candyman.
Oh yes, yeah. I haven't
Series?
seen Candyman.
You can do the series. I haven't watched the 4th one.
The new one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't watched that one. I honestly don't know why, because at that time that came out, I was watching all. I know why. I got busy with work. I was watching all the Candyman movies. I mean, what I like about Candyman is he isn't your typical stereotypical slasher, but he's lumped in with them. So
Right.
in the slashers, normally they're just like running around slashing everybody.
Right.
But Candyman actually has a backstory where he was a slave and ended up sleeping with a white woman, so they ended up covering him with honey and letting the ants eat him up.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And cut off his hand, and then he has a hook. And throughout the movie, he's basically a lover that's trying to attract this girl. But he's a monster.
Yeah.
And in Chicago apartments, just scaring the shit out of everyone. So it's a great movie, actually. The actor has the deepest voice and is creepy as hell, and you see him in every horror movie. Him and Robert Englund will have jobs for life.
Oh, same thing with, I don't even know the guy who played Jason. But Candyman's on my list to watch for sure.
Okay, invite me over because I've never seen Candyman.
Neither have I.
Oh, my bad, homie.
What's up? What's your next one?
I'm actually gonna go. Wait, is this 2 or 1?
2.
Okay, I'm gonna save my other one that I was gonna think of. Fuck me.
I never seen that one.
You wanna
Which
watch it
one?
later?
Sure.
Which one?
Fuck me. You ever seen it?
I just said fuck me because I couldn't think of what I was trying
sure.
to say.
I've never seen it. Sounds interesting.
$100.
That's an expensive movie.
Well, sometimes gotta pay a lot of money for the movie. I guess I will go with what I'm thinking of. Off list, but something you said made me think of it. Disturbia. I don't know if
Never
that's
seen it.
really. Shia LaBeouf.
Probably why I never seen it.
Fuck, I can't think of anyone else in that movie. Basically, the premise is like his dad dies, so of course he starts acting out. He punches his teacher in the face, and then he's on house arrest for the summer. He's fucking. I think he broke his leg, so he couldn't walk for a little bit. He's just binoculars in everyone's house.
Oh, I got that.
Oh,
now.
yes,
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
now I've never
Yeah.
seen it, but I've seen all the spoofs of it.
I don't know, for some reason those movies, with people just watching movies, love them. Sounds really stupid out loud,
It
but-
was based off a Hitchcock movie, wasn't it?
Was
I
it?
believe so.
I have no idea.
But yes, because I remember the Hitchcock movie, the black and white with the telescope.
African American and Caucasian.
African American Caucasian movie, the telescope. Anyways, Shia LaBeouf, I liked him in Holes. I liked him in
Yeah.
I liked him in Transformers,
Nah.
and I liked him in Eagle Eye. After that, I could not give a fucking rat's ass about Shia LaBeouf.
Listen.
He made me hate Indiana Jones
Okay.
because I hated that movie. After that, and then I just could not watch anything to do. The only thing I liked him do was the one part where they made a song about Shia LaBeouf about him being a murderer or something and eating people. And in the music video, you just see at the end one person in the audience clapping from the show, and it's Shia LaBeouf. and the just do it memes.
Do it! Yeah, those were good.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
Oh my god, even Steve, I guess you probably...
Oh yeah, even Steven was good too.
Okay. It was so good because all of a sudden these are 3 fucking teenagers. They're like, something's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They figure it out, and then they get the blueprints for his house, and they sneak into his house because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Kids are
Literal
stupid.
children. But it was, what did you say?
kids are stupid.
Oh, yeah. And, they buy a new fucking garage door opener, and they reprogram it so they can get into his house, because it's an attached garage. So, comparing the blueprints to what they see in his house, the mom. It's just weird. I don't know. That one, I freaking love that movie, and I really want to watch it. So I'm gonna have to borrow Stephanie's copy and we're gonna watch it.
All right, we're gonna go with my number one. And the funnier part is I never watched the whole thing
How can it be your number one if you haven't watched the whole thing?
because it is a fucking classic,
Okay.
and it's Psycho.
Sure.
Not American Psycho. Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock. Fucking, he brought in the suspense that not everybody's seen at the time. And you're just like, this is the whole premise of all horror movies after this. And it's been made fun of time and time and time after again. Like the one scene in Hilarious Recording, Looney Tunes Back in Action Again, where Bugs Bunny gets caught in the shower, and instead of blood going down the drain, he pours Hershey syrup because they think that's what they used in it.
Actually, Stephanie and I were just talking about this. I was hoping someone would bring it up. It was chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
It was.
So they do that spot in there, and you can see the can that says Hershey's on it, and he pours it in this. But here's the thing about that movie, not that specific movie, but the remake of it with what the fuck is his name? He's
That
in
fucking
Vince
guy.
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn,
Stop.
and it's fucking horrible.
It's a shot-for-shot remake of a movie that never needed it.
No. And he plays a horrible job at holy fuck. What the hell? I was gonna say Jason Bates, but that's not his name.
Christian
Bateman.
Bale. Oh no.
Is that what it is? Whatever the hell the name of
Are you talking about American Psycho?
no Psycho
Norman
Bates.
Norman Bates. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
And the one thing I did like that I have not finished yet was Bates Motel, which was a prequel to Psycho about how they got the motel and all that stuff and where the mom came from. And the mom was in a lot of other. It was in I think The Conjuring as well. I think it was The Conjuring, but either way. And then Norman Bates is played by hilariously the guy who played Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp.
Okay.
And also in, is it The Good Doctor? Where he's like autistic or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, The
That's
Good
the
Doctor.
same guy that plays Norman
Holy
Bates
shit.
in the Bates Motel. And he does a fantastic job. But the original Psycho, you think the mom's alive and it's just Norman Bates dressed up as the mom. Yeah. And
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert from I was gonna say how old the fuck? I don't know how. I don't want to do math right now. How old that movie is? 60 years, 50 years.
That
Sure.
can't be a spoiler alert because I've never seen it and I already knew that.
And then but yeah, if it wasn't for that movie, there would be fucking most of the other movies would not exist. Where do you go?
I'm gonna go with one of my favorite movies of all time. A miniseries, actually. It's another Stephen King one. It's called The Stand.
I've heard of it.
Have not heard of it.
It's about the end of the world.
Oh, those are always good.
It's so what happens is a disease takes over the world. It's actually a disease made by the government, and a huge percentage of the world dies off, and then they start getting these dreams of a guy in the cornfield or an old lady singing, telling it to meet her in a town in Nebraska, and then they move to Boulder, and then a guy who a dark man who takes people to Las Vegas, has people, and it's turns out to be a battle between good and evil, a religious battle type thing.
Okay.
And it's a very slow moving movie or miniseries, 6 hours long, so of course it's so
It's gonna be slow.
the book is so much slower, but it goes into way more detail. My brother hates the book, but I love the book. Yeah, it's just a great movie and shows the different side of Stephen King, where he goes more into the character, and like it's got Molly Ringwald in it. It's got
How old is this miniseries?
the original miniseries was made in the mid '80s, I believe.
Okay, so that makes sense when you said Molly Ringwald.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is very young in there. Not too young, but.
That's what I mean.
And then they made a new series that was supposed to come out in 2020, but it started sounding way too familiar. And then because of the coronavirus that was going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so they didn't make it?
So no, they had it out. They just didn't release it because
They thought it was...
out of panic. And then they were going to release it later, but Amber Heard's in this one.
So they were like, no.
So
Just kidding.
Eventually, they just were like, fuck it. If we keep putting it off, we'll just put it out. So it got released. It was okay. Not nearly as good as the original, though.
Yeah. When you said a first government created a disease, the first thing I thought of, even though it wasn't a disease,
It was called Captain Trips.
Was
That's what the term for it was. Yes, Captain Trips.
was the mist.
Sure.
Spoiler, because the ending of where the
That is such a hard ending.
The military just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kills whatever creature that this was, and you're so pissed because he has 4 bullets left, and there's 5 people counting himself, and then they don't want to get killed by this giant ass creature that's in the mist killing everybody, so he kills everyone, including his son, and then he was going to let the creature kill him, and as soon as he gets out of the car and starts yelling to take him, the military comes out and clears everything away.
That's some bullshit.
And that was the hardest fucking ending for a movie I've seen, where I'm just like,
it was so depressing.
you're like, I would not know what I would do with myself.
Right? You just murdered your child.
And these people that I just
Right.
sort of became friends with because they're all hiding in a
Grocery store.
grocery store, and it's just like, what the hell? Ironically, I don't know if you guys watched Walking Dead, but one of the people in there was in that too.
Oh,
I did
nice.
not watch the series that was made from it though. There's a short series, I believe.
Okay.
But now I got to see The Stand. All right.
This stand is good.
What's your number 1 / just your random list?
Okay, now that we're talking more about things, I'm gonna add my sci-fi / horror. I Am Legend.
Sure.
I get it.
That's a good one.
I feel
I've
like
never seen it.
Oh my god! I'm borrowing you that DVD too.
I wouldn't.
Ah! Why not?
I don't like Will Smith.
Oh my god, I like Will
He-
Smith as an actor.
I did as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
God,
and
I don't
the original
know.
Men in African American 1 and 2.
MIB.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be.
MIA.
MIAA. And after that, he seemed to play like the same. Oh, I got to be the hero douchebag
Very typecast,
typecast shit, which he knows he does.
obviously.
And the whole premise of that movie was the fact that he had the blood from a disease that made him immune,
Yes.
but somehow killed off everyone else, and he watched his family die.
Yeah, that shit was
And it was also
heartbreaking.
like a zombie thing at the same time, which you did not know they were zombies, like really at first.
Yeah.
And then, did he kill his dog because it got bit?
Yeah.
And that part really fucked with me.
Oh my god, me too.
Because you had to kill your dog because it got bit by a zombie.
And not just his. So obviously it's his dog, but it's his only form of companionship.
Yeah.
Because you go in and he's talking to fucking mannequins in the movie store.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sign
But
of
other
the
than that,
times.
I did not enjoy that movie at all.
Oh my god. I
Because
don't-
towards the end, you're just like, all right, now I'm going to fight all these fuckers with no help and no plan of attack, just besides a random ass torch so you can see. And I'm like, nope. That's the same thing with him and iRobot.
I have not seen that one. Actually, I saw it like when it came out.
Like
not
it was like a
since.
robot. These robots are becoming like so aware of themselves, and they start turning to be bad. But one of them isn't bad. I'm just like, this movie sucks ass. I'm probably one of the few people that didn't like it, but it's just like,
iRobot.
yeah,
Most people hated it.
okay. But I'm like, this is fucking trash. And I think ever since then, I'm like, I do not want to see a fucking
Will Smith movie.
yeah. Same thing with It was him and his son.
Oh, The
After-
Pursuit of Happiness.
No, the second. For that one actually wasn't bad.
I
My
don't
favorite
know.
part of that is when he complains about the sign being spelled wrong because happiness is spelled with a Y instead of an I.
God, I don't remember that.
And then where he impresses his soon-to-be boss by doing a Rubik's Cube. But no, the other one, the later one, I think it was called After Earth.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Him and Jaden... Was it wait,
It is Jaden Smith, yes.
Okay, I was going to say Jaden Pickett Smith at first. After Earth? Yeah, like, it was him and his son,
You're a terrible
and like some alien... I don't even know, I never saw it, but it looked fucking horrible. And I'm like, I can't do it after Will Smith. Can't do it.
So does that mean you haven't seen like the new Aladdin because Will Smith is in it?
Nope.
Ah!
Because I really believe that nobody could outperform Robin Williams as Aladdin.
Oh,
They do not
17,000%.
compare one bit. Yes, it's a different version of him, but because of that, I'm like, I'm not fucking seeing this. Plus, I didn't really give a shit about live-action Disney movies. Like, I did not want to see Lion King. I did not want to see Aladdin. I did not want to see Dumbo. I did not want to see, which is funny because I think I own digitally. And then a whole bunch of other shit. I'm like, I don't care.
That one I liked. I wanted to see that.
That
But, of
wasn't
course,
even, that wasn't the
obviously,
reason why I didn't see Aladdin. I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think I rented it or we had Disney Plus at some point, and that's why we watched it.
I have Disney Plus and I refuse to watch it because I just watch The Simpsons over and over and again.
Your mom has Disney Plus.
Your dad is Disney Plus. But yeah,
Cool.
well, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna be doing another episode related to horror movies at a different time, as discussed earlier, I believe. Hopefully, partaking at the Eskimo house of Joe Hero with his awesome.
Why is it an Eskimo?
Because I saw you doing your movie.
Oh, yeah,
your
just-
ghost.
Oh, okay.
Revenant.
That's the only reason. So stay tuned for that.
It's the Hero's Lair.
Hero, whatever. Hero's Lair. Hit follow, subscribe on anywhere you get the podcast from. Now on YouTube. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, everything you can pretty much think of. If anybody wants to post to social media, go right now. If you don't care, I don't care. Check out Chris Reason Network on YouTube.
YouTube's.
TVW Matrix featuring Joe, Beastmaster Hero, Rodney Cabbage.
I'm the champion. I'm not the champion.
He's not the champion. I don't. Some guy.
I do like wrestling.
Two Fan is the champion, and we like wrestling. So peace and fucking bacon grease. Hit that follow button.
Thank you for listening. And go fuck yourself.